What's going on, everyone, brothers and sisters? It's your family, Elwin Coleman, and I'm here with my brother, Mark English, today. And we just decided we wanted to have a conversation, with everything going on in the world right now, the climate of the world, and how the masses are reacting to these world events. And from these reactions, we've been seeing a lot of confusion, a lot of people, kind of at each other's neck or just standoffish, literally distancing themselves from one another. And I came to Mark with the idea, he always gives us great knowledge and great insight on this esoteric knowledge, the spiritual side of what's actually going on in the world. And it becomes something that's actually practical, not just some mysticism that you only talk about. It becomes a practice. We go into different things like the breath work, qigong, different materials or elements you can even get to protect yourself from certain energies, which we'll get into in a bit. So, and then Mark asked if I would do this conversation with him, and I was like, me, for real? I was just a regular dude, but
yeah, me too.
I mean, I think that's actually better, because we're all just regular people trying to make sense of it. Just some of us have read a little more than others, have done the practices a little more than others, or have been more disciplined, so we can see it from a different viewpoint and almost, pull each other up. So welcome, bro. I'm glad to have you here.
All right. Yeah, man. I appreciate it, Elvin.
So how you doing?
Doing really, I feel like I'm doing so good. I feel guilty, like, it's just, so I just want to spread this out. And me saying doing good, it ain't really tied to like externalities so much as, like I told the family, most of my day is just really in meditation, just kind of bringing in the unconditional love, the Tao, okay? As the Taoists talk about the unconditional love, the energy that's hitting the planet right now that I speak about so much, and it's literally gotten to the point where it's like 3 to 4 hours of cultivation a day. It's probably because we don't have nothing else, but family, I just want to start off with this. Now, I have to bring this up first due to the world event that's taking place. And, as you go outside, you go in food stores, there's, hey, Derek, what's up, brother? Now, the whole contagion thing, viruses aren't spread the way that we think it is, okay? It seems that way. Don't get me wrong. It could make, they could get you to think that viruses are spread from body to body, but a virus needs a host. It needs your living protein, the living DNA. It needs a DNA structure and a host to actually like exist. And it's not really a living thing. Now, contagion has actually been debunked even from the 1900s, even the late 1800s, where they did test on this, the Spanish flu and a lot of these pandemics that you would believe are people dying from viruses. That ain't really the case. What happens is the word virus now, and this is something that I actually was just put on to from a doctor. I just hosted a show with the doctor last week and about to leak out that information on Facebook after this. He explained it beautifully, and then I went and looked into it. Now, virus, for the root Latin word for virus, it actually meant a toxic excretion of a cell, or poisonous excretion. What's up, Anthony? Of a cell. So virus, they changed the meaning of virus. You see, like, so a virus is something that's manufactured by the body. So for example, if there's pathogens in the air, toxicity in the air, and remember, all of this started in Wuhan, all right? Now, Wuhan in China, there's no trees like that, right? That's the real concrete jungle. And so there's a lot of pollution. Now, the pollution in China, understand, there's sunlight. There's not a lot of sunlight that hits the atmosphere because sunlight kills pathogens. It kills, it helps to kill toxicity or whatever in the air. And so when you look at Wuhan, they were the first ones that started to deploy 5G. So you have 5G, you have high toxicity in the air, you have not much sunlight. So what happens is the body starts to manufacture what you call a virus. It starts to manufacture these non-living microbes to go to the area where the pollution is. So again, for example, if you breathe in toxins and lungs has an overwhelming amount of toxicity, the body has a self-defense mechanism against pollution. And so it can seem like, for example, if all are sitting in a room and let's say there's carbon monoxide or there's some toxin in the air,
right,
must have the same symptoms, you know, and it could look like it's being passed on or it's airborne. But what it really is it's high toxicity levels. And if you look up the word virus, it just meant a toxic substance or poisonous secretion of a cell. Now they're pushing this contagion movement, okay, because they want us to go again in fear to go run and get the vaccine. And that is the main way that they try to pass on viruses. But that has even been debunked, because back then the cabal, they would take the toxic excretions out of people and like snot or whatever, you know, when you detoxing, you have a lot of toxic excretions coming out.
right.
They would try to inject it into other people. And what they found was people didn't even get fucking sick. Even with them injecting people with toxic excretions, people still didn't get sick. And you got to think about this, family, because the doctor that I just hosted made a good point when I leak out the information. He said that, why is it that you only can catch bad health, but you can't catch good health? So Elwin is like, if we go and be around a bunch of yogis, they fasting, they fruitarian tip, you can't go there and go sit with them and catch good health.
Right.
See, but we only catch bad shit though. You see? So it's not, the way they putting it out there, family, is to mess with your emotions, to bring you to that low vibrational frequency, to weaken your immune system.
Let me ask you this question. I don't know if people ask this, but who is they?
They.
Who is the they?
Okay, all right. See, now when I say they, this goes pretty deep, because it's not as simple as the cracker doing it or the Caucasian, you see?
Right.
So I'm going to take this to a level. There is a race of beings on Earth. You could call them draconian, reptilian, archonic entities. They're not human. And they live off the glandular secretions of humanity. The glandular secretions of our endocrine system, okay? When you look up adrenochrome, that's starting to come to light. But they live off the solar energy or the glandular secretions of humanity. This is why child trafficking, human trafficking is such a big industry. The same way that I made the post on Facebook, we have the meat industry. That's worldwide. And we live in, you know, we torturing, killing animals, eating animals. There is an industry where they have human beings and children. You see, women and children, human beings being trafficked worldwide. You see, that's why right now you're starting to see they talk about the QAnon and the White House trying to stop it. You got people that really believe it, but you know, how do you know? You know, can't really debunk it, can't be 100% for it, but you could have control, optimism as to maybe we do have people in the military that knew what was going on to try to offset, you know. But anyway, going back to what you said, Elvin, they are a specific race of beings that see human beings as cattle. They're not evil, not in their light. They're evil to us, just as much as we don't care for the chicken. You know,
Right.
When you sitting at KFC in the drive-thru, you ain't thinking of the pain and suffering that chicken went through. You know what you're thinking of? You're thinking of your job. You're thinking of you making money. You have your own agenda, okay, that you got going on. And you even getting mad that the line taking so fucking long. You can't wait for that chicken to come through. So think of that mindset, and then look at the elites, the pedovores that eat children. They're not, it's another type of mindset. You can't just look at it as good and evil. So for example, if I take one of these draconians and sit stand them next to a human being. It's not good and evil. It's a matter of difference. Okay, their way of evolution, their perspective of life is parasitic in nature, but that's the way they evolve. They cannot synthesize sunlight. This is where you get the myths of vampirism. Okay, vampires, it is true, it is real. You do have certain beings that cannot take the higher light code energy from the sun, from the dark star that's raining on the planet. They can't take it. But what they can is they can extract it through the glandular secretions of people that have souls, or drink blood, which is like condensed liquid crystals or condensed sunlight. So they take it in a secondary form. So just,
is it kind of like if we eat a plant, we're getting that same solar energy from them?
right, yeah. Well, just to say, Elwin, the indigenous ancestors were never people that really ate like that. You see, we were never those creatures that would take matter and solely extract it into energy. We took energy and converted it into matter, like fossil fuels. Like, you know, you go and you're gonna burn fossil fuels to create oil, right? That's a process of taking matter and converting it into energy, which could cause pollution. You see, we were never those creatures. We had special abilities that they would look at us and it looked like magic, where you could take energy and you could instantaneously manifest it. So you take energy and convert it into matter, just like with meditation. You taking the subtle forces and you're converting it into a nutrient, into secretions, you see? And then you could build and create your world on earth. So the true indigenous, not the bastardized ancestral knowledge, because we do have ancestors that were bastards. We do have ancestors that sold us out to these beings. I'm talking about the good portions of our ancestry, you see, where we were never those creatures that would, okay, I'm looking at a plant as if it's something I parasite. Now, there were certain times where the canopy that laid over the earth, when it was more Edenic-like in nature, where we had to then probably do some herbal medicine, take in fruits and stuff to extract the energy in other sources, but that was due to a circumstance. It wasn't because it was a necessity that denoted our design. So when we look at the parasitic beings that hijack this realm, they see it more as taking matter and converting it into energy, because they're trapped here. They can't go beyond to the other realms. They literally live here and they're trapped here. They don't have a connection to higher source or anything like that. So once again, this is not a matter of good and evil. It's just more so you can't take it personal. You see this.
They don't have the same abilities that we have. So
no,
limited.
They don't have the central nervous system, the pineal gland. They don't have the necessary organs to secrete the melanin, or to have the bio-elixir melanin that really could synthesize higher light codes towards soul evolution. Their way of evolving, again, if you watch the movie Dark, I think it's Dark World, watch that movie, family. It's deep. It's about beings that simulating this fake world, but they have soul carriers in the world, and they're literally extracting energy from people by creating scenarios and external conditions. So these reptilians or these archons, they don't do anything. What they do is they stage fake events, just like this. They stage fake events. They stage false flag events, shooting people in schools and all that, Manchurian candidates, right? And do is they get you to react emotionally. This world right now, how it's been jacked, it is being taken back now, though. When you're looking at it, the world is a stage. It's just a play. And the demiurge and these beings are just creating scenarios to make you react in a certain way to extract energy from you. They see you as a commodity, okay? It's nothing personal. They don't want to kill all of us, okay? They may want to, they are attempting to reduce the population, but there is a galactic confederation, and there are beings that are working, doing countermeasures to what they're doing, because they literally doing a little too much, you see. But understand this though, family. You see, they are, again, when you start to see it from this light, and you can't just label things as evil and good, you know, because again, there was this CIA agent that did leak out this information about a group of families that live underground, and that this child trafficking and human trafficking industry is literally just like how we have the meat industry. They don't need to come up. They don't need to come from underground because they're being fucking fed. It's being exported to them. And a lot of these fuckboy niggas that niggas be thinking through the hood is like dope boys, credit card scams. Some of these niggas be trafficking kids, dog. And they be making money posing as street niggas. So our own brothers, our own people selling out to the beast. So you got to be careful. You don't know who a deep state agent is, you know? So that's who I mean by they, you know? And again, using the virus epidemic, which they know a virus is just manufactured by the body to offset pollution, you see? And that's why one of the worst things you can do is get an antibiotics, because what happens is when the toxicity levels start to rise, you have, you know, undigested shit in your colon, you have stones in your liver, you know, your blood is sluggish, your lymphatic system is backed up. Then what happens is there starts to be an overgrowth of bad bacteria, bad viruses. But why? It's because they have a lot of stuff to feed on. You see?
I used to get ear infections annually or a couple times a year, and they kept giving me antibiotics. By the time I hit teenage years, they had to give me the most strongest ones, and then they just eventually stopped working. But once I learned about my true self, and I would get the ear infection, I would say, oh, let me get some elderberry syrup. Let me get this. Let me heal myself. And now I never get them anymore. They don't come around. And if I get this, what I would deem ear infection or that feeling in my ear, it's usually speaking to some type of imbalance, some type of, you know, issue that's going on with me that I need to work out. So it's almost like, you know how you tell me these are just indications, and not to say the virus is necessarily good, but the virus is letting you know, yo, you got too much of this toxin in you. Like you're telling me about the tumor, is saying it's almost a saving grace.
Real, yep. Yep. And you know, the people don't see the virus is actually more like the military, more like the trashmen of the body, you know? Like, again, the body's not going to send living microbes to go eat up this toxicity because the microbes going to die. They're living things. So it manufactures this like AI non-living Borg called a virus to go to that, to where all that undigested crap is, and, you know, to go eat it up like maggots, and they work to go eat it up. And then when the toxicity leaves, they have nothing to feed on, they eventually expel out or they go away, you see? But it's a solution to the problem. Coronavirus is a solution. What happens is people ain't dying from the coronavirus. When they go to the hospital, they take one of the #1 things that's prescribed is ibuprofen, these painkillers, fever reducers. And then what happens, you reduce all that, and that doesn't complement the process. And a lot of these people that they claim to be dying from the coronavirus had conditions that was there previously. Their immune system was already compromised. It ain't old age. It's just that most people at old, we just have a high toxicity buildup. The problem is toxicity. It's always toxicity. You see, and toxicity not being allowed to be eliminated. You see, that's all, you know. So Matai, I see you ask, any suggestion to solve the undigested food? Yeah, cut out the cooked food for a while. You know, there's good herbal cleanses to start. If you know Savan Bomar, go to secretenergy.com. That's a cleanse I did myself. It's a really good cleanse on secretenergy.com to help cleanse the mucoid plaque. And I do recommend you being on a fruitarian diet, raw diet, or juice diet to get that out. It's a 21-day cleanse. Also, urine therapy, drinking urine, looping urine is another thing. Distill water with lime, that really helps, you see. But, you know, all of these things is just, again, it's just one problem, high toxicity levels. And the elites, and I'm going to say this is not popular opinion, the elites do not create viruses. They don't. You cannot extract and isolate a virus. what they do is they create toxins, and they'll put the antigen or toxin in the petri dish and have a living cell, and the cell would then create a virus as a self-defense mechanism to the toxin, and they'll try to then extract that mutation. You see, the mutation,
Wow.
again, a divine intelligence at work, okay? And they don't want us to trust in nature. They don't want us to trust in our bodies, in nature, and know what time it is. They want us to trust in their bullshit science, which is nothing but a cult, nothing but a belief system, you see? So when you look at 5G, remember they say 5G dissipates the oxygen or something in the air, and it's harder to breathe. They did bring that up. Now, once again, I'm going to be real with you. After a while, when you get your body immune system up, which we can talk about right now, I can share my screen, you're going to have to be a bit more disciplined than usual, right? Because, you know, 5G they deploying around. There's also benefits to 5G towards the, not, I guess you could say, to the economy and what it can do, but the detrimental effects that it has is our body's now getting used to that frequency. Come on, man. We've been around 4G, 3G, the radioactive activity that took place, the poison.
Yeah, microwave.
You know, the microwave and all that. Even when they bump up the frequency on 5G, what this does is, this is also the love energy hitting the planet, telling you, yo, it's time to get your shit together, my child, okay? You have to now see, to bump up, to allow for the body to be where you don't have too much mucus, too much of overload of toxins. And what can happen is over time, the body will start to adapt itself and it will know how to deal with that 5G. But what you have to do, you got to be careful. You got to look away. You got to look to see where the towers are situated. One, get on your orgone energy and crystals. That does help. When I share my screen, I'm going to show you. But the main thing is, sunlight is your fucking friend, okay? It's your fucking friend. I letting you know that right now. You gotta go outside and get your sunlight, okay? And even in wintertime, vitamin D3 pills do not, they don't work, okay? There's no such thing as an isolated thing called vitamin D3. The sun does not give you an isolation of vitamin D. It gives you an array of different things. Okay, so the only way to complement, or if you in the wintertime don't have much sunlight, there's this thing called photocell light therapy, UV light therapy. You could get it for indoors. You could sit in front of those lights for like 20, 30 minutes, and that will at least emit out some reaction for the body to start synthesizing and creating the vitamin D. You see, because the body creates all this stuff. So when, again, if you cannot get sufficient sunlight where you are, don't stress about that. Use the light therapy, okay? The pills, even if they bring something, it ain't really like, you know,
it's too extracted too, and it's like, how do you know what's the right amount? It's always gonna be, when they extract stuff and make it that concentrated, it's never the same. What about just like, can you get some of that stuff just from like eating plants and vegetables, like as a secondary source? Or
yeah, definitely. You know, so we can go with the whole nutrition aspect. Now, understand this. We know that there are people that don't eat or drink. We know that there are people that also are nutritionist fanatics. Both of them are right. There is no, okay? It's just the levels of consciousness that you at. Nutrition is real, okay? You do need nutrients and minerals. I know there's some breatharians saying that don't exist, but this is basically to give you an understanding of it. Now, nutrition, the top nutrition on the planet is manufactured by the body, okay? Now, when it comes to women and men, we lose our top nutrition, okay, from the over-excretion of semen, excreting out too much sperm. I ain't saying if you're young and you come every now and then. I ain't talking about if you do it too much, too frequently every week. You're losing way too much. You're losing zinc, you're losing vital, the most highest pristine parts of the body. Now, as a man, understand when you keep coming, the body doesn't know you having fun. You may have be, you know, trying to do a one-night stand, you going on Tinder, you doing it, whatever. But understand this, when you come, the body is taking the most pristine parts of you to create a baby. It doesn't know you having fun. So the number one nutrition is manufactured in the body. It's the cerebral spinal fluid. When you learn how to circulate it up and down. Secondary to that, you notice urine is close to your semen, my brothers. Urine is filled with bioavailable minerals, enzymes, stem cells, and it can be reused. It's not toxic, okay? Now, the information I'm gonna leak out with the doctor, he says urine is toxic. I didn't really want to get in between. I wanted him to have the floor. I do disagree with that, but I wanted him to have the floor because it's more important. The stuff he was spitting was still fire. So anyway, urine, semen, and then, so this is the pyramid here. At the top is the Tao, the End Soft, or should I say the cosmic energy.
Right.
Hidden light, the melanin, or the dark matter reigning on the planet. Cosmic energy, chi energy. Number one thing that energizes the body, nutrition-wise. Then you have semen, and for women, menstrual blood, because what are seminal missions to men? Menstrual blood is to women. So you notice women that have a lot of sex, eat a lot of meat, dairy, and a lot of cooked food, they bleed more. You losing a lot of you leaking out vital minerals and enzymes and all kind of components of the blood. So now man and woman both break the loop, okay? And because we break the loop and waste so much minerals when we pee, when a woman menstruates, when we ejaculate, when we eat cooked food, we have to take in minerals. We do need bioavailable minerals from plants. Just being real, you see? That whole thing with not being able to live off the light, it's better when you're more on a celibate place, or if you're really a professional meditator, you could go and with urine, at least you will have the urine and stuff where you could loop and go a long time, you see? But understand, going from the pyramid, you got cosmic energy, right? And then the condensation of cosmic energy in the body is semen, is the blood. Then you have urine, and then fruits, okay? All of the top things are manufactured by the body. Now, nutrition, eating, that stuff is, you do need to do that if you constantly leak out components out of your body, okay? Or,
it looks like it gets more dense as we go down the spectrum.
yeah, you see, it gets dense and dense. Now, the best thing to do, family, remember I talk a lot about energy cultivation, all right? It's real, okay? There's some people that don't believe it's real. It's not a pseudoscience. You are taking in nourishment, and it's the highest form of nourishment, but it takes time, okay? You got to be consistent on it. You may not see the real benefits from it 3 to 4, 5 months down the line. I can be real with you. Even with me or what I'm doing now, I actually really starting to feel it more and more. You see, it's just, again, there's no end to the light. There's no, the light is only based on how much value you put into it. It's literally limitless. Okay. So when you learn meditation, you learn how to take in the subtle forces and energize the body. Now, what depletes the nervous system of the body is thinking and constant mental stimulation. Number one, those things there. When you think too much, you weaken the mind, okay? And if you always need to be watching entertainment all day, every second of the fucking day, you either watching Netflix, you reading a book, you engaging in conversation, you trying to sound intelligent on social media, all these things are depleting you of your energy. So the one of the best ways to being adaptive to the new changes that's coming, even with the earth, with 5G, is to disengage from that. Do it for at least an hour or two a day, or maybe 30 minutes if you're really busy and you have kids. Get on a mental fast. All right? Don't even fucking read. Okay? Don't attach to no thought. Just let them flow through you. Do the diaphragmatic breathing. And when you get good with your hands up, back straight, just sitting up, you will eventually feel the energy coming in. All right? That is the cultivation. There's no limit. You could sit for hours and cultivate energy. Okay? So next, I'm just going to share my screen. Now, there is a problem. There is a problem with the soil that the food is being grown on. And one of the soil experts, he went to Congress. I can't remember his name, but he's like the world leading expert when it comes to soil cultures and stuff like that. He did inform them that the way we growing our food is depleting the soil badly. Because think about it. We have a tractor and we constantly plow through that shit. Constantly. And it's so depleted, we need to put fertilizer and certain things in it so things can grow out of the ground, right? But here's the problem. These commercial companies and even these organic commercial companies, they only put just enough minerals in the soil to grow it, to sell it to you, to make a profit. They're not going to put the whole array of everything that's needed, the potassium, the magnesium, the zinc. They only can put maybe a bit of magnesium, just enough, just to grow it, to sell to you. So it's grown deficient. And the intention behind it is already fucked up. So we do have this other epidemic now where the food is just not as nutritious as it used to be. So even to try extract chi energy from food, we kind of in pretty challenging times, because the reason you eat food is for the life force energy and the biophotonic energy. Now, but beautiful, we got beautiful solutions. I got two companies here. Daily Green Boost, okay, is an excellent company. The guy that sells it, heart of gold, they did testings on this product here, and it's really highly concentrated, as you can see, just straight bioavailable nutrients. It's extracted barley grass, right? So we have here, and it's really affordable. As you can see, it's just $28.25, just $28. And you could put 2 tablespoons in your smoothie. And this would at least give you the packed nutrients that you're losing. So when you go to buy frozen fruit and stuff like that, make a smoothie, or you eating a fruitarian diet or try and eat raw, this is a necessity. Okay, this is why a lot of raw vegans and people trying to go vegan having these complications, because the average person tells you when you go on a raw vegan diet, you don't need any supplements and stuff. It's all in the plants. That might have been true in some sense. It might be true if you grow your own stuff, or maybe if you know some local farmers. But for the majority of us, we do not have that. We don't have that luxury. But we do have solutions, that, especially if you have children, you see. And, and I do have Juice Plus. Juice Plus is another great company. It's just Juice Plus is a little steep in price for some people. Okay, it's a little steep in price. I can be real, all right, because it costs about 100 something, 75 a month, and then they got the omega fatty acids. But to me, I really like Juice Plus. It's a really good company because they go through NSF certification. They go through an extensive screening that other companies don't go through. As you can see, I have Juice Plus here. So the two companies that I recommend, I don't recommend much of anything else because there's a lot of fucking fuckboy companies out there that just want to make money off you. Okay, Juice Plus is the best, and Daily Green Boost is right next to it. You see, but again, Juice Plus, I really like it because it has more of an array of 33 different fruits, veggies, and berries, and they also have a let me go to here. And I don't even have like, you want to know what's funny? I'm not even like a thing with them. So I'm not even getting paid to do this. I'm just passing.
Yeah, I was going to say, where's your promo code?
No, I don't have one. I used to have one, but I'm just passing out info, bro. Because so they do have, family, an omega fatty acid plant base. That's, our brains don't secrete that at the moment. So that is really good. If you get all 4, it's 33 different fruits, veggies, and berries that are vine ripened. And it ain't even a supplement. It's whole food nutrition. Okay. And the process, the way it's extracted out, it's freeze dried, it's almost freeze dried, where to make the enzymic activity in the freeze dried fruit powder. Okay, and these fruits, veggies, and berries are vine ripened. When you eat a fruit from the store, it's force ripened. It's picked way too early. You know what I mean? And you don't get the bioavailable nutrients that you would have did if you was able to grow that yourself. So Juice Plus also.
So it's almost alive in a way. It's as alive as it can be to get to you.
Yeah. That it takes.
Have you ever like felt a plant or like, you know, little flowers outside and you just, I was feeling a flower the other day and just feeling on the vein of it. And I could feel the coldness, like the life flowing through it, you know?
Right.
So it's just such a,
because it's growing in the wild.
Something like,
right.
Has that energy flowing through it. And that's what you can get with this when they're freezing it, huh?
Yeah.
Opposed to like taking vitamin C, which is like some extracted vitamin C supplement from the grocery store or something like that.
Yeah, you know, and unfortunately, I mean, like, you know, there are stuff in the wild, but you could get away with, if you eat from the store, it's just you need to have some type of whole food supplementation. You see, you could get away with it, especially with learning how to cultivate energy. Because if you cultivate and you bring in energy anyway, that is the most vital way.
Let me ask you this question to kind of bring it back. So are you saying that viruses don't necessarily exist, or they just don't exist in the way that we're told, and we can use things like urine therapy, qigong to get rid of a virus after it's done what it's supposed to do?
Right. Viruses do exist, but they exist only in organisms. See, they can't exist without your living proteins and DNA. It needs a host, right? But it's manufactured by the organs, by cells. That's
what about HIV virus?
You see?
What?
Well, HIV is again, HIV has actually been debunked. It's just what it is when you look at a good cell, you got to look at the terrain, the biological terrain that takes
right.
The whole germ theory, even Louis Pasteur, where they get the term pasteurized. Okay. Right. That on his deathbed, he said he was wrong. Louis Pasteur, his last name, where he talked about the germ theory, on his deathbed, he said he was wrong. He said the microbe is nothing. The terrain is everything. You see? So your body is creating this stuff based on your habits, okay? Based on toxicity levels, and it has sophisticated ways of protecting the major organs, because the body is a divine instrument. It's one of the greatest gifts ever given to you by the universe and the gods. That body.
So usually that's why the organs are the last to be attacked.
Right, they the last, because the body been protecting them as much as it could, but we don't have the self-knowledge to realize that this whole war on disease, there's no war on disease. There's no such thing as disease like that. Disease is just a list of symptomologies. They look at symptoms and they say, oh, you have a disease. You have no fucking disease. It's originated from your mind. And
right. Like the doctor will try to tell me I have bipolar and anxiety. And my boy, he said, my nigga, you don't got bipolar. You just a boy from the hood dealing with the death of his mom.
That's
like, whoa. It makes me feel less, no stigma, something I could work on. You know, it's just a list of symptoms, and you understand where these symptoms come from. And then you get to the root of them and you work to improve from there.
Right. See, and deep, because just like what you said, right? Now, the cells have their own consciousness. You have a cellular consciousness. Each cell has a brain, a membrane. Cells retain memory. You have memories of you as an infant, 2 years old. You don't consciously remember, but it's stored in your cellular data. Now, this trauma that you experience, it isn't a demon, it isn't negative, it isn't evil, and as far as I can, it ain't even nothing bad. You don't put a judgment on it. Understand this. That part of you that you call a trauma is still divine. It's just a part of you that did not get unconditional love in a moment when you needed it in your growth, because unconditional love is needed to grow us into gods. It's needed to grow us from children. Like, and this is a big fucking problem why niggas need to understand. You can't be going around fucking all these gals, and the same with these women going around hoeing around the fucking play. The problem with that is, when you deal with the consequence, you're seeding a child that's not seeded in unconditional love. You don't even unconditionally love that person. You don't even love that person. And you building a fucking family with that person. You see? That's already a downfall. So the misuse and abuse of sexual energy then creates a bunch of children, a generation that was not seeded in love, in unconditional love. Now that part of you, if you go into certain meditations like holotrophic breath work, you may have memory. You may have a pain in your chest, pain in your back, and the pain may be associated with a memory. The memory could be of guilt. You may have lied to your friend, stolen from someone. It could be abandonment, okay? It could be being misunderstood, lonely. When it arises, you may feel depressed. You may feel like you have anxiety. And what you then do is saying, damn, oh man, I feel bad. I need to fix it. I need to fix it. No, you don't look at it that way. Because if you look at it as something you have to fix, you put in a judgment on the same memory that needed unconditional love. So that part of you as a child, you see, as that child that needed that love, that didn't get the love from the parents or from, was bullied in school, whatever. When that memory resurfaces, you integrate it with unconditional love. You don't say it's something you fix. Because if you say, I need to fix it, you're saying it's a problem. And if you say it's a problem, you put in the same judgment on that memory that your fucking parent did. You have to look at it more so from a standpoint of, wow, man, I love you. Sorry you went through that, but I love you. I'm here today. That don't exist no more. It don't exist. Look at the moment. You taking in that chi energy. Feel the unconditional love coming in. And integrate that memory of guilt and abandonment to love. Don't fix it. Don't run from it. Don't label it. Don't judge it. It's divine. It's you. Don't try to dissociate it away and put it into a box and compartmentalize it just because you feel like I have esoteric knowledge, I'm intelligent, I shouldn't be feeling this way. People think because they have knowledge, they project themselves up higher than they actually are. And I can say this, knowledge becomes a distraction when you get to a certain level. Because knowledge is the treasure, but practicality is the key to it, you see? Because there's just treasures locked up, but to really experience it and actualize it, you got to do it to get into practicality, which is mainly in mindful energy cultivation. So the key to getting past traumas is to see it more as a part of you that's been unresolved, that did not experience unconditional love. And it's your responsibility. And this is the problem. Why people think, oh, you mean to tell me, motherfucker, I could go walk in Walmart and catch bad health? I could just catch bad health like that? Or what if I'm sick? I go in a room with a bunch of healthy people. Why don't I catch good health? Why it only work one fucking way? Why? Because it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Regardless of how many bodies they try to show you, the Contagion thing on Netflix is bullshit. Okay? And I mean that. Because when you look at it, what people are scared of just responsibility. They're scared of they're scared of just being responsible for their own health, their own life. It's so
their own life, yeah.
Just to push it aside and be like, oh man, I caught something. I have the bug. Oh my God, I need to go get, and then when you go to the doctor, he suppresses the healing even more. And then you get higher degrees of toxicity. Then you have certain levels of pneumonia. That again, pneumonia only happens if you raise the toxicity level so much and you keep suppressing it from happening, okay? And then the body has a last-ditch effort trying to take the poison out, and then you ain't letting it get taken out. So it's like, all right, fuck it, I can't do something. You ain't letting me do it. The war on consciousness is just between the mind and the soul. You see? That's what it is. You know, and these particular parasites that live off our secretions, our souls, they know that the only way they could come to us is if we stay at this low base frequency.
That's where the agenda comes in.
Yeah, the Agenda 21 and 2030 and all that. And
but we're in control is what you're saying. So let me ask you this. You know, you can't just pick up good health by walking around a bunch of health nuts. You can't get some virus just by standing by somebody. But there's something to humans, our own thoughts, allowing us to manifest these symptoms, these things, right? Like, you know, if you're around a bunch of people in a good mood or good vibes, you can pick up on it. If you're around a bunch of, you know, you can feel the tension in the air. In those same ways, you know, isn't it true we can pick up like on these collective symptoms and almost like manifest this just with our thoughts, like on a collective consciousness level and an individual level?
Well, you see, that's been our whole life from cultures, growing up in, you know, in indoctrination camps, placing spells on each other. Hence, when we grow up, we put in a spelling test. So they cast spells on the mind. And they know when you cast spells on the mind, the main thing that they do is pollute the blood. You pollute the thoughts, you pollute the blood. And when you pollute the blood, as Phil Valentine expressed it so eloquently, you enslave the soul. You see? So understand, when we talk about the what we call the true primordial essence that we condense from what you call God, it represents an abundance of energy. Energy is the true currency. That's why health is just someone filled with energy. Satan represents energy exhaustion. This system thrives on a human being completely depleted of energy. And it only wants the human being to function at a quarter of its potential. Because if we function at our full potential, we wouldn't really need to consume all these things that we think we need. We wouldn't need all these things that they're trying to sell to us, you see? But you got to understand this, though, from the standpoint of the draconians that currently farming human souls. It's their way of survival, okay? Because you got some of these beings that live for thousands of years underground, okay? Just like how you have a yogi, you got these immortal yogis like Babaji, all right? That they say up in the Himalayan mountains and stuff, they only appear to a few people. So you have one mindset that cultivating energy. It's not parasiting off of no one, but he's living for thousands of years. Then you have these lesser gods, the draconians, that living for the same long period of time, but they extracting energy from other people.
Right.
You see? Or you farming and they living as a parasite. You see? So they even say even Queen Elizabeth is probably hundreds of thousands of years old because they just moved the soul or the particular entity into another body.
That's right.
See? So again, what we think of as satanic, that's why we go in the Catholic Church. Christians don't understand that they symbolically doing what the Satanists doing. They drink wine that represents blood.
Blood, right.
Drink real blood. They
eat the body, eat the flesh.
That represents the body. Cannibalism. These motherfuckers are cannibals. They eat children, and they eat them alive. They don't want to put no child in no freezer. They extracting and eating them.
Because it's more energy, right?
You
Just
see?
like animals in the wild, they want to eat that freshly killed.
Right. See, we just thought we was at the top of the food chain. You're not at the top of the food chain here on Earth. There's something that even at the top of the higher food chain than you, but you're more divine than it. But again, this is where they get the term humanity has been genetically altered, you know, will understand once they change your thoughts in your mind, you already been genetically altered. Whether it was in a test tube, whether it was from somatogenic, understand that. So, you know, your cells reflect, or your body just reflects your thoughts. So any existing thing you have with your body, there's a preconceived pattern of thought that took place. Now, you have the subconscious, which they say is your soul. But you have the super consciousness, okay?
The unconscious self? Is that the unconscious self?
You see? Yes, the Tao, it's literally the you, is you before you were in the form. There's no form attached to it.
Right.
It's the energy that powers the whole galaxy. And that's what you come in contact with these forces when you meditate. So when you bring it in, without having so much thoughts every day, you're just allowing to take this energy in. You are now at least guiding the cells to more of a higher intuitive nature rather than into energy exhaustion, just simply from like what Jesus said. Jesus said, you cannot live by bread alone. He's talking about you can't live off of gross fucking foods and think that's sustaining you. You can't. That's went out and fasted, or not fasted, but cultivated, right? He cultivated energy for 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness.
Right.
He was able to do all these supernatural things and stuff like that because he learned the sacred science, the holy science of how to spiritualize matter. That's what this is all about. Meditation is about...
Water to wine is alchemy. Water to wine is alchemy. Well, just like the alchemists turn copper to gold or whatever that was.
It deep because they have gold-based blood. They do talk about the ancestors having gold-based blood. Right now we have iron. In the Iron Age? So think about it. When you look at the yugas in the Hinduism, the yugas, you got the Satya Yuga, the Tretya Yuga. You got I know you got the Iron Age. That's the Kali Yuga. Okay. Our biochemistry reflects the cosmic forces in astrology and the zodiac. Our biochemistry, okay, through the cellular salts, changes based on these forces that we are receptive to. Now, you can make...
Are those the same cellular salts you can get from like going in the ocean? Or like Himalayan bath salts?
Well, they produced by the body. The reason the body, again, everything that's needed for evolution is produced by the body. You ain't gonna find it in food, you ain't gonna find it in a plant, but that's for higher levels. That's for like the monks that know this. So they say, you know what? I go in celibate because I want to use this energy, you see, for something else. I done did that whole animal human thing. I done had fun. I done fuck. I done drink. I done taste all kind of foods over the past incarnations. I am done, my nigga. I am done. Okay? They're not stepping into it as if they're forcing it, because forced celibacy is toxic. Okay? You have to already get to the point of human saturation. Like, yo, I done had enough sex. I didn't eat enough food. And you no longer desire it. That's why this path is mainly for elders, as we spoke about. The whole breatharian thing is better for elders. And if you're young and still if you get married, if you can have a family, have children, why would you want to not eat and drink? Why would you want to not like run away from the world? Entertainment and food are the number 2 bonding tools for a couple. Come on, you about to, you chilling. You're about to get something to eat, make something to eat. You're about to put on a movie and stuff. That's a form of nourishment, even if the food toxic. That's the funny, because it's fueling the emotional body. So like, for example, if you go out with your girl on Valentine's Day, you order, let's say it's not vegan. Let's say it's just Alfredo pasta. She orders some other shit. And now, even though the food toxic, there's an emotional feeding that's taking place between both parties. You are nourishing the emotional body with the experience, And even
Right.
in life, the memory of that same experience will nourish you.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
No.
So again, it ain't not cut and dry. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to be just this food purist sitting on a mountain, not wanting to, you know, that's for people that are already saturated in human experience. And these are people that the yogis that have unbelievable core supernatural abilities. We all have it, but they just chose to conserve it. That's all.
Right.
To use it more now, where the difference between a yogi and a human being, when I say a yogi, I mean the immortal yogi. Okay, you have people that die. Don't listen to these motherfuckers out. You know, I know that sounds so far-fetched, you know, but it's true. Take it in intuitively. Do your research. Why do you think Taoists talk about immortals? Okay, even in ancient African cultures, they talk about it. Everyone talks about it. What are they talking about? Okay.
Ancient Egypt. Yep. They tell you the actual methods to do this.
You see, right, Anthony? Physical abilities and mental abilities and psychic abilities. But what it is you have cultivated enough energy and you kept in your seed, your cerebral spinal fluid, which is the condensation of prana. You're moving it up and down, up and down. Imagine doing that for hundreds of years. Even when you look at Elatom Elamine, who's a known breatharian, he only 20 years in the game. He's still a baby, we infants. And he's a forming fetus. Look at now the Babaji and these yogis that been living for thousands of years. And they cultivated so much energy where they could change matter at will. Watch, if you watch these shows with these superheroes, all of that are dormant abilities within you. What wakes up the dormant abilities? What fine-tunes you from what they call higher self and lower self, which really there's no such thing. It's just kind of you're just one frequency moving in different hertz. Okay? Lower self is not evil. You chose to be there and you enjoy it.
Right. You got to be able to command it and use it properly.
Right. You know, so you could try to demonize lower self, but we enjoy the fuck out of it. Let's be real. Okay? So you got high and lower. What you are is when you take in the Tao, the chi energy, you realize that this prana energy you taking in is you, the real you. And you're in this technology seeking to experience different modes of self. You see, you're in this technology. This is a technology. People don't see it that way. We're playing a game here. This is a game.
And we don't know how to use half of our technology. We haven't even read the manual. And that's what a lot of these books are telling us, how to use it.
Yeah, you know, that probably in the underground vault in the Vatican, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Not away. But you don't need no manual when you start to awaken your intuition, because the manual really is in the dormant DNA, the dormant processes, because there are certain secretions, there are organs that are so small in the human body that ain't even been discovered. There's secretions and cosmic processes that ain't even been discovered. The human body is a vast mystery, okay? And I can be real. There is no science.
Right. Especially because they're doing it after you're dead, so they can't see what's really going on.
Exactly. Their science of the human body is based on how the body acts, based on how we live. That is such a small, minuscule to what this divine instrument can do. It's not limitation. The physical body is not limited. It's limited because of the daily life choices we make. So you got to bring it all together. You can't neglect the physical and neglect the spiritual, because the spiritual and the physical are exactly the same, just different in degree. So when you go higher to lower, what makes you fine tune to experience different waves of the self is life choices. Revolution is in the mundane choice. Okay? There's no savior. And you could say, Trump in the military, they doing that thing with the whole child trafficking. But nigga, that still ain't gonna save you. You still gotta do your shadow work. Even if they ain't even doing that shit no more, you still gotta do your shadow work. So still, the real revolution ain't televised, because it's more so of a biochemical, or it's a cerebral seed that's inside you that you have to come to know and understand and how to cultivate. You don't have to do it at that level. But at this time, family, the 5D energy, the high frequency energy hitting the planet is basically saying, look, motherfuckers, I looking for an elect, okay? I getting tired of y'all living in self-denial. I getting tired of this bullshit, all right? So this is what they mean now, where the elect or the stronger vessels will live on. Many people in these times will choose to die and choose to leave their bodies because they will not want to transform. They do not want to change, all right? It's not because simply just Bill Gates injecting them with shit. If you were living in self-denial, you could be played around and you could be a fuck toy for anybody down here. You see? Occultists and sorcerers could play with you. You're just a big toy to them. So your real protection is in connecting to source, is in elevating your energy and your frequency. And frequency is, I know it's like this word, frequency. Everyone is you. Look, man, let's bring it down to this level where it's just simply the revolution of your cells now is starting to pick up. They picking up, and then you have certain organs now starting to electrify and wake up. Neural pathways in the brain starting to wake up. And then, you know, certain breatharians that were been celibate, they held the seed and it's starting to create certain energetic pathways, creating new veins to house more of the light. So your avatar is divinely beautiful, divinely beautiful.
And that changing of frequency is, yeah, with the practices, but a big chunk of it is just your attention, where you put your attention. So for a lot of people, when we talk about this higher self, I always tell you, you got to check in with yourself, see what you're thinking, see what you're feeling, like pay attention to your emotions. If you feel like frustrated about something or angry or anxious, you have to figure out what's causing that. And a lot of us, we won't even know that we're in denial, is what I think you're getting at. Like, the masses don't realize that they're just stuck on their conscious self, and it's almost a denial of higher self, and you're not even realizing you have that. And I think it's interesting when I see this with a lot of like religious, I won't call them fanatics, but it's kind of oxymoron, but people who like find God and they say, God talks to me. He just tells me, you know, these people.
Yes.
What I've noticed, I swear, every single one of them is talking to their higher self, and they just don't know it, which is God.
Yeah, and you know, the wordplay is get people, you know. It's just self-deception is the true Satanist, you know, like that's the true satanic order, to keep you in self-deception, to keep you in self-denial. That's why we die. We don't die because we don't have a lot of nutrients. That's bullshit. You know, we die because of self-denial. We don't know who and what we truly are. You see?
I was gonna tell you one thing, and I want to ask you a question. So I was reading this book, and it was telling me about an ancient Asian proverb, and it's talking about how disease and viruses, and this is way before what's going on right now. I just happened to be reading this book, The Secret of the Ages. I sent you it, and it was talking about, this will encapsulate it. It said 500 people will pick up a virus, and then another 50,000 will pick it up out of fear of catching that virus.
Yeah.
So you were basically attracted it out of fear.
Yep. Because you created us. They know that we create us. Why you think they putting that whole contagion shit on Netflix? Why you think they putting this whole, if you look at they had a Chinese show on Netflix that talked about the coronavirus in Wuhan. They want,
right, because wouldn't you want to distract us from that and not create that fear instead of feeding into it? If you were some type of governing body. And all right, this is the question I want to ask before I forget. So would you say that morality is subjective? Because speaking back to, like, you know, the entities that feed off us, and then you kind of relate that to how we feed off chickens, because I mean, what's the difference? Won't we both be evil in that case and strive to all eat off plants? And then you could say, oh, the plants have feelings. It's just never ending. So it leads me to this idea that morality is subjective, and I wanted to know what you made of that.
Right. Well, there is, see, understand, when we talk about like evil or what's bad or something like that. It's just, it's the same energy, but it's just when we invert it, we use it in a different way. That's why if you look at live, you spell live backwards, it's evil.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
it's an inversion. Even with sexual energy being powerful, we invert it and use it another way, and we create suffering and conditions. Now, I would say that there is a higher good when it comes to the laws of life. But what we call evil is only a negation that was caused from self-denial. We forgot, okay? And you chose to forget. You chose to forget, all right? This was your choice. I know people don't want to hear that. People want to hear, the Anunnaki put me here and I'm trapped. You fucking chose to be here.
We got to be
Forget.
accountable.
You see, yes, because you wanted to play the game. Ain't nothing serious going on down here, you know. You came here to do dumb shit. Or should I say, you came here to play with energy, and it's almost like, think of it as like, you didn't come here to learn because you already divinely know. You came here to experiment with what was already inherent within you. You see? So you came here, got filled with a bunch of shit. Then they tell you got to unlearn the shit. So I'm like, shit, what did I do all that for? You see? So there's certain words there's certain cosmic processes that don't even have words, or don't even have words in our language, okay? Because the true language is the atomic language. And the atomic intelligence, what we call the hydrogen-based atom, which is when you look at the periodic table, they're all variations of the hydrogen-based atom. The hydrogen-based atom is the intention carrier of the creator, you. So it's the intention carrier. This hydrogen-based atom is an integrative technology that responds to intention, to thoughts, to mind. So basically, we are terraforming and transmutating this integrative technology into forms for whatever we choose to experience. This is why when you look at quantum physics, they tell you an atom don't exist until someone observing it.
Perceives, yeah.
It's just a wave. So what we actually seeing is it's waves of energy. We live in an ocean of cosmic energy. And since we are creators, okay, we start to create this reality based on whatever inner desire that we have, what we want to experience. Now, we then start to create suffering because we start to have self-denial. We forgot what nourished us. Now we think that we need minerals. We think that we need money. We think that we need, all these different things. And we think these things sustain us. Okay, so it's like this. It's like I said before, you eat the apple. A fruitarian believes the apple sustains him. A meat eater believes the meat sustains him. But when they go to sleep, they cultivate cosmic energy. And that's what really taken the cosmic energy is working to take the apple out. If you eat 10 pounds of shit, you have to shit out 10 pounds of shit, like I always say. So food ain't even a part of your journey. It's just an experience. Think it like this. It's like when you go to the game room. That's my divine purpose, to go watch a movie. No, food is an experience. Even back in the golden age, we were able to instantaneously project out food just to taste it. We just saw it as something that you taste, you see. But due to self-denial, what happens is, Elwin and family in here, over time, with trauma being passed on in the genetics, we forgot how to extract light from source. We forgot that it was that free energy. Then we started to extract light from others. Now we try and extract light from animals, from fruit, from your spouse. My spouse can make me happy. That'll never happen.
So we just become addicts for external substances and sources.
Even if your spouse does make you happy, when they die, then what? Okay? At the end of your life, then you can be crying. Now you don't have nobody. You should have been.
That's why a lot of couples die right around the same time, huh?
Around the same time, because that's an experience. Okay, it's a beautiful experience full of love. I'm not tearing it down, but I'm saying you have to build the foundation on self. You got to give a self foundation. That's why the church, the Bible says what? You have to build on a strong foundation. They built their house on sand. So when any storm passed, it just swept away. And that's what a lot of people doing. A lot of people getting in marriages, getting in careers. They know they ain't feeling it. They know they ain't really like the bitch. You know, she don't like the nigga. You know what I mean? So they get together. He have a degree, I have a degree. We build a family with some kids, you know, and you ain't happy. You know, you're trying to figure, then you try to search for happiness, which is a mind fuck in and of itself, because happiness is just an emotion.
It's like we're lost in a character. In our avatar. It's like we're lost in our avatar or our character.
Yeah.
Like we're we're all actors in Hollywood, and then we go play these different roles. But some people get so caught up in that role, that character, they forget what's really going on.
Yeah. They forget that. Oh,
so when that character go or something happened, they're gone.
Right. You see, and even if you go back in the meta history, the indigenous here on Earth, and it wasn't just black people. I know black, you know, it was gnomes, you had fairies, you had all kind of different, you still got gnomes. If you talk to spiritual people, they'll tell you gnomes exist in nature and shit, you know. They metaphysical though, but that's another story. So the thing is, there was a war that took place in the heavens. Okay, they say the war of the gods. A lot was going on. So there were certain soldiers that came to Earth to protect the Earth. Now, what took place was, after time, even after the wars was done, there still was a fear frequency. People were still scared. And there wasn't even war no more. You see? So then there was the government that started to take place. Oh, because if we live in fear, then we can find a government to give us the illusion of comfort. So the government is just a reflection of a psycho-spiritual pathology. Once again,
damn.
You see, there is no tyrant government. It's just collectively, we brought this on ourselves. And because we started to parasite and extract light from our friends, the animals, thinking we could eat animals and extract light from them. Because remember, nutrition is just light. You're just trying to get light, biophotonic energy. Forget all that shit about vitamin E, vitamin K. You're trying to compartmentalize things. You're trying to extract light, energy. Okay?
The more you say this, I just keep thinking, damn, Jesus was a yogi trying to tell us how to live life and how to absorb the light and be Christ-like, light-bearing.
Light, right. The halo, you see? Halo.
It all connects.
You see? And what I was saying about when you go back to the immortal yogi, the difference in an immortal yogi that could, remember that show, Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
They was able to manipulate matter and change matter. Yeah, you got beings that can do that. Now, even time travel and stuff like that. Now, what happens is these energy masters, souls, spirits, they were born on Earth, but they cultivated and figured out the game, all right? Because the game is, to figure out the game, you got to go through inner alchemy. Okay, it isn't just a matter of not eating and all that. You know, it's to beat the matrix. The way we helped to design this game in the Confederation before we made the choice was it would be so difficult to, because it's hard to just think, oh, let me sit and let me not do, let me non-do.
Right.
This is a word that makes you want to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to not do if you see.
That's why you need an ego death.
You see?
In some way.
Yeah. Well, the ego is just a neutral observer. It's not,
Right.
like that. Like the ego that doesn't understand the laws of life could hurt you, but an ego that understands the laws of life will catapult you, because it's just your conscious mind, your intention, So the immortal yogi cultivated enough energy to change the DNA from the inside out. Whereas a human being, us, we try and extract light from the earth. We ain't extracting light from the heavens. Think about that. That's what meditation is, bringing light from the heavens. We extracting light from the earth, from plants, from animals, stuff like that. So our DNA adapts to the changes of the earth. It's adaptive to the earth.
So we got like a reverse loop going almost.
You see? Right, because we chose to match that energy. You eat that cow, you want to stay here. So with them, because eating is a form of communication, okay? With them, Baba G, and some of these Taoist mortals, with them, Emotep, okay? They knew that I could build energetically from sexual alchemy, inner alchemy, where I no longer desire an orgasm. That's the highest form of inner alchemy, where you no longer desire orgasm, you just want to keep it in. So, because even a desire, you kind of lose energy. It's crazy. So, they changed their DNA from the inside out, from their intention. That's how they could, that's how when you talk about the myths of the yogis having more than one body, or the yogis having, being able to change at will or appear to you in dreams in many different forms, because they have enough essence to attach to any form they desire, to appear to you in any type of way. But with the animal human, us, because we extract in the source here from Earth, our DNA will adapt to the changes of the Earth. That's why someone out away from the sun, they adapt, so, we start to see that the avatar isn't something that's really alive, so to say. It's technology that's an integrative technology that responds to you,
to the environment,
where you extract energy. It only reflects the energy that you extracted from. There is no science of the avatar. There is none. All signs of the avatars are made up fucking belief. You could change the signs of the avatar in incarnations. So when we look at this big industry on Earth, talking about, oh, you need this, yeah, but that's what, that was a collective agreement. We agreed that we needed that. You see? And we've been extracting secondary light from animals and plants. Okay? So we agreed we needed that. So then when we die, when we don't have it, we die. And the cells are like children. They listen into every fucking thought. Every thought. You see? So now this will even free you from science, in the fact that there's the laws of life. When you look at the 7 hermetic principles, the first thing is the mind. That's the first.
All is mind.
All is mind. If you want to eat a sandwich, you got to first pop in your mind first. If you want to do it, it got to pop in your mind. But then you also have to understand that you're not a mind. You're not a mind. Now, what did they do? Notice mind and mind are interrelated. A mind is when you extract deep in the earth. The gold mines, you go in deep to extract of it. So what we did, we mined, or should I say the ones that put us in this indoctrination started mining, taken out from our soul. They start mining. So you realize that the emotions, okay, that you have, the beliefs you have, are there to serve someone else's creation. You see? They're there to serve someone else's purpose. Because they mind you. You ain't minding yourself. That's why. And Anthony noticed, because Anthony is who in here now, that brother there is who put me on to breath work a couple of years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's on another level. Okay. Now, and especially he's flexible. He does his yoga. He on it. He does the pranayama. I do more qigong and standing still, but it's still shit. It's just different techniques, right?
I've done them both.
Yeah, and I did do breath of fire. I do breath of fire because when I do breath of fire, exhale out quickly. I expel out the toxins in the blood. But I like when I do breath of fire for like, let's say 5 to 10 minutes, I could hold on to exhale for a long time. And when you hold on to exhale, I did it yesterday, I felt this surge of energy vortexing, and my body was naturally like a bamboo in the wind in the tree, flowing with the energy. It's the natural chi dance where it's doing and non-doing. So when you learn the art of the Wu Wei, you learn how to not do, but nothing gets left undone. Notice nature is still and slow, but nothing is left undone.
Right.
You see? So now we talking about tapping into a practicality of tapping into higher energies. And that's why I say daily meditation is the most important skill set to the human race. The most important. If we could get everyone to do it, if everyone did it together, and I ain't talking about trying to change the, you changing self, okay? I know everyone will talk about, oh, we gotta change the world, and no, the world is already perfect. That's what the Tao talks about. If you go and try to make changes, you could fuck yourself up, okay? The world perfect, but understand, when you allow in this high energy, you then wake up the teacher. Ain't no teacher. You go run to yourself. That's the only place you can ever find truth. Or run to yourself. You ain't gonna find, you can find friends along the way that could inspire you to find your own truth. Look at it like that. Not the person out on YouTube teaching you truth, but they're teaching you concepts to inspire you to go to your own truth. That's how you see it. People put too much of these teachers up on pedestals. You don't put me up on it. You don't put no one up on it. I'm your boy. Okay, I'm just your friend. That's all it is.
And it speaks to how they say the method doesn't matter. Like, if you like to spin on your head and close your eyes and breathe 3 times looking at the wall, or if you like to do Qigong for an hour, it doesn't really matter the actual practice or method. It's the ritual behind it. And it is a big part of it on our journey, just speaking practically. It does require you to kind of try different stuff. Like what you was like, yo, try this Qigong, try this holographic breath. And I was like, bro, read this book, check out this, these yoga poses I do. And what happens is it allows you to find what works for you, what helps you get into that mode where you can connect with your inner self, where you're open to receive the energies. Because like Mark is saying, we're all brought into this world as people who can receive light and actually transform it to energy. But through a lot of the conditioning, the programming, the self-denial, we stifle that ability. So someone like me or even Mark, we can go in the sun and charge up like this, charge up in a minute, know how to kind of get in that mode, set that intention, or even just tune in our frequency to our higher self at will almost. But it's just because we practiced it and did it, the repetition, the discipline, which builds it, because we all have this innate ability. It's like Mark said, it's a technology of the human body. It is what it is. So we're basically showing how you work with this technology and how you use it in its most purest form.
And that's all it is, man, for real, and it's something too that was family, when you get into higher levels of cultivation, which I suggest you do. It's it's really important right now in this day and time, and you start to feel the Tao and the high energy coming into you. There's something that Ella Tom said that was very interesting, and it was my realization that I had too, even before that he posted it. And he said that the world, I didn't come out of the world came out of me. When you bringing it in and you realizing that this energy is what actually powering the whole universe, preceded the form, which is you, because you did exist before form. All of this came out of you. And if all this came out of you, and it is you, why do you think the universe is out to get you? Why do you think you have all these enemies? Okay? The universe is your friend. It's looking out for you. Okay? It's your best friend. And that's how you have to look at it. You ain't gonna think your friend can fuck you over. So when you walk out, it's your friend. But what happens is a lot of these agents, what you would call a conspiracy theorist, right? They'll tell you to the T and detail what the elite's gonna be doing. Wouldn't really give you much of a solution, but they'll tell you what's going on.
Right.
Pay attention, watch. Be careful of them, because they spread.
Right. What's their motive? What are they?
Yeah.
What's their point?
They spreading something, and especially the ones that have been allowed to say this for such a long period of time, like David Icke. So a lot of them, you see, if you don't look into the practicality or the real solution, you see, you realize they could create that fear-based frequency in you, and you will to create more of the dominion of having this hierarchy over you. There is nothing outside of you. You see, it's just a game, man. It's a game, and you decided to come into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's freaky because I'd be like, "Are you real?
Right,
bro?
Anthony,
You're really just myself. You're really just me projecting back to me, so I can learn something about myself." Or you know what I'm saying? Everyone.
Yeah, you are that, and you are that high frequency energy emanating, and at the end of the projection is you working the body. You know, doing the body like you in this first-hand view, like an avatar playing a game, just like Xbox, you know. This is supposed to be fun. Spirituality is supposed to be a good time, man. You're supposed to have fun. You know, you learn, and then you could go grow up and become mature to learn how to build galaxies and planets and build your own game. You could be your own programmer. You got beings out there that programming planetary systems, the Galactic Federation and the Central Race and all that stuff. It ain't fun.
And even on this dense frequency, wouldn't it be beautiful to just be able to answer your own questions, look to yourself when you need to find out what should my next move be in life? You just close your eyes, you meditate, you get good at that practice of just talking to yourself. And like I said, some people say God talks to me like whenever I need an answer, he just guides me. Whatever type of story behind it you want to put, you know, as long as you're in tune and you're being guided by some type of light, let's put it like that.
Yeah,
the guiding light.
The real you, untouched by the game, untouched by form, because you have eternal and then you have infinite. Eternal is what does not change but lasts forever. You have infinite, what changes all the time and lasts forever as well. Infinite represents the feminine. Eternal is the masculine.
Oh my God. So I was going to say, is this like the heavens and the earth?
Yeah, earth is eternal. No, earth is infinite. And infinite is matter. Matter, there's no...
And the heavens are eternal.
You see? Matter is the eternal energy transmutating into different forms. But the eternity is the true reality, what does not change. You see?
In my deep meditations, I've been to these realms, and that's usually what I take away. Like, I've been to that eternal that we speak of, and where you see the geometric patterns, you know, all that stuff, the multifractal.
All of those things that you did that preceded the form, because form there's a certain geometrical, numerical value. It's a program, it's a code.
That's what I was trying to make sense of.
Let's be real.
I felt like I was decoding this program, seeing beneath it like the true structure. Almost like we're talking Forex over here, you know?
Yeah. Because there are architects. There are architects that put together the planet. And
the thing is, I've seen this stuff before. This is how I actually got into this knowledge. Like, before, I would feel my energy forces, my vortex is going crazy. And I would go to the hospital because I didn't know it was just the energy vortex blockage. Or, just learning about, why, like one time I was so sick from panic disorder, I had to go to do acupuncture to help. And I basically fell out. I finally slept. I hadn't slept in like a week, but as she did it, I kind of went into a sleep. And when I awoke, I started to open my eyes, and this is where I saw the multifractal, the geometric patterns. It was like kind of like a map, brownish background. And I was like, what is that? What is that? And then now that I've dug more into it and even gone back there, I realized what I believe is I'm kind of decoding the reality to an extent.
Yeah. The algorithm, the code. Yes, and people, this is the first technology. Then the technology we see here that we're using here is the secondary that mimics the primary one, you see? And that's where you get the Draconis. They mimic nature. That's why they say Satan mimics nature. He doesn't create. He just like looks at some shit, observes it, and tries to mimic it. You know what I mean? Like that. So that's why we were more focused on upgrading this, the earth and stuff like that, you know? But, you know, you have Caucasians and certain people that see this AI, and there's, I ain't saying there's nothing wrong because there's benefits to having the AI. I know that ain't really what you want. A lot of people want to hear. They thinking it ain't all evil. Trust me.
Right.
AI, be able to even look more into self, that we don't got to do all this petty fucking work. You know, say ain't family. It ain't got to be all evil or nothing like that. This whole New World Order thing ain't got to be all evil. You see?
You know, the second principle, 7 Hermetic principles, is correspondence. As above, so below.
As above, so below.
Just like we've been talking about.
Same dynamic energy. So, you know, and just here, family, I wanted to also show that, look up here, this is the Kishi Foundation. I'm currently doing some research into the new plasma technology and plasma healing. They do have something called plasma Gyan's water, where you could use, it's like these cylinders. It's like, you know, it's a pretty interesting science where they use like magnetic gravitational force, or it's like copper with cylinders, and they put it into like a gallon of water and distilled water. And what it does is it extracts the plasmic energy or the ethers into the water, and it charges the water. And this stuff I hear really heals you. It even could be something you could use against vaccinations, possibly. That's how powerful it is with urine therapy and this plasmic energy that's coming out, all right? Plasmic technology. This is some spiritual stuff that they putting out there, and it's solutions. Like, even if you take a vaccine, you fast on this shit, that might get it out. You know what I mean? It's called plasma Gyan's water, okay? Plasma, so they have plasma Gyan's kits, and they have an education system here where they even have plasma ornaments, and they put it next to plants and food, and the food, the orgone energy that it's emitting out, it makes the trees happier, and the agriculture grows faster and faster. So look up Kishi Foundation. It's fascinating. Not a lot of people know about it yet. Next is for the 5G thing, and, you know, on top of the meditation, cleansing and stuff like that. The orgone technology, you could just type in orgone EMF protection. You know, you could get you could get like cell phone blockers. You could put it on the back of your phone. Some of y'all already know about this. Put it on your phone, your laptop, your smart TV. When you go to bed, always pull out the plug from the smart TV. Don't go to sleep with it still plugged in, because it's still on. The remote doesn't cut on the TV. The TV already on, you see? So pull out the plug, because that's not a TV, that's a computer. Notice you could go online on the TV and search the internet. It's a computer. This is not a phone. This is a computer. So there is a lot of technology that's emitting out frequencies. But you could use this orgone, and if you look at orgone technology, O-R-G, org, right? That's a representation of natural energy, like what you take in meditation. So with cultivation, you take in orgone energy. Orgone, O-R-G, is where we get organic. Orgasm, you see? So
organism,
you see? It's the natural energy that can emit out and start to dissipate the pollution coming from this technology in the 5G. You also have tensor rings, okay, that the Kishi Foundation, I think, is tensor rings. I think it's T-E-N-S-E-R rings. You could put that around your smart meter. It'll dissipate the pollution, okay? Put it in your car. So it's like, and what I also recommend is air filtration system for the home, okay? They got, I'm trying to remember, Phil Valentine told me about one of the top air filtration systems. It's the same one NASA uses. Oh, I think I got it. It's Volara? Yes. Okay, so we got the Volara. These are some of the air filtration systems like out there. Okay. So go to, I think it's My Volara. Yeah, Volara products. You could go to here. They have even fresh air personal. You see air purification. And they even got a necklace. You know, you could go out and, you know, just have fresh air being emitted, you know. So this could offset, because we know they spraying stuff in the sky. I'm going to order one of these, you know. And again, to what, especially you wearing your organ and stuff, doing your meditation, you ain't eating too much mucus forming food. You don't have to be perfect, but don't overdo it due to what's going on, you know. And this here will help with they spraying stuff in the sky. So you see, personal air purification system. Today's modern indoor fresh air provides nature's own powerful properties. So it ionizes the air, okay? Even if we go to, they got one for cars as well. And you would think, again, I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm just helping you guys out. Just spreading out, because there's a lot of fear frequency out there. There's no reason to. There's just as much as how you got bad, evil companies, you got good ones that counter it. Always remember this, family. Always. For that to exist, there's another force that counters it. Okay? So that we empowering you and not empowering martial law and all that shit that these niggas talking about out there 24/7. You see? So, like here, Fresh Air Cube. This is, they have some for apartments. They got some for 3,000 square foot homes. You know, I do recommend it, man. You know.
Do you have one?
You know, I had one.
You noticed a big difference with it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely, brother.
Okay. I'm gonna look into
It was
this.
a difference because I had it was one, it was a smaller one that I had. And I was moving and I dropped it and I broke it, you know, as I was moving and I broke it. But I used to always see dead skin cells and dust particles. You know, when you hit the bed and you just see all the dust just come out. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But it literally, all of the skin cells, dead skin cells and dust falls to the ground.
Right.
Just sweep it up. This will help to strengthen your immune system. Okay.
I definitely need this one.
All right.
I had a question for you. So yeah. I had a bunch of questions and I actually didn't ask one of them. But I was going to say, when we're doing our energy practice, our Qigong work, are there any protective measures we can take, like protective prayers or setting like a protective energy shield around ourselves, stuff like that?
You know, it's funny, you could just picture it, because violet, for example, violet is a color of protection.
Right.
You just picture violet emanating all over you. Because that's the, you know, that's the crown chakra, but that's a color of protection and enlightenment.
Right.
You could even emit out a violet ray from your pineal gland, you see? So just as simple as visualizing it, you create it. Because you see, it ain't nothing you really buy, you know what I mean?
Right.
But again, the orgone technology, all that to help the technological pollution.
Right.
But then, because you feeling so much energy come into you, you could literally just close your eyes and you could picture the violet rays coming in and circulating around you. And that would be a layer of protection. So for example, if it's a law, certain laws or certain things that just happen where if entities come around you and they see you doing that, they can't touch you. You see, they just can't do it.
Because you're emitting a frequency that they can't even,
you see,
activate on or whatever.
No, you know, they can try test you if someone close to you that may not have that protection or may not be a cultivator, they could try to use them to get you off your path or to get you, you know. So
right. Like with this whole corona stuff, that's why my view was, I didn't have the science behind it, but I knew innately, I knew for myself that I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna be involved in that because my frequency is not there. I'm not subscribing to that belief. You know, that's not part of my reality. So I can't even resonate with it.
Absolutely. That's good, bro. That's how you think, you know. And once you know viruses are actually just, again, you know, just a self-defense mechanism of this divine instrument against pollution. You see, all the elites do. See, that I ain't giving the elites no fucking credit. They've been trying to push this.
They play off our fears.
You see, all they do, the aliens, the parasitic aliens, if you want to call them that, they just put up a prop in front of you and you then respond a certain way. Or they introduce a toxin in the body, in your food or in the air, and the body has an immune response. And they say, oh, you're infected. Infected, what, from the immune response is not the infection.
It's just a symptom.
I'm really trying to get people to understand that. The immune response, the coronavirus that you is not the infection. It's the toxicity. It's like if you have garbage and it's just sitting there, the flies come. If you have some meat sitting in the freezer, the maggots form, you know? So it's just stagnant energy. That's all
right.
It is.
Or you put pepper under your nose, you're gonna sneeze.
You know?
I don't got the cold and the flu and I'm not gonna die. No, I just responded.
Your body cleansing is even worse. The fact that people eating all kind of bullshit now, and then when they try to cleanse it, they can think they have the coronavirus.
Yep.
Now, if that ain't some dumb shit, you got.
People are literally getting denser.
Hey, hats off. They got them good on that. Yo, dog, I see people, they have masks on.
Yeah.
On. Hand sanitizer. Devouring a hot dog.
They like, hang on, let me get a piece of this Big Mac.
Yeah. Smoking cigarettes. But they sanitizing the whole fucking house. They saying they elbowing me out there, you know. But I looking at them like, nigga, seriously? You gonna do that? Come on, man. We gotta do better. We shouldn't, and it's just annoying that people so easily manipulated like that. But you know what? I'm not gonna project that onto humanity. I'm not gonna say humanity is stupid. I'm gonna just project on the world that I live in. We some strong motherfuckers, we some creators, and there's nothing you could do to stop us.
And that's what I was saying about, I've been telling my brothers and sisters, like me and you, we're leaders in different communities. To our peers, they look to us. So there's no way we can be operating out of fear. We can be projecting this stuff because it's going to trickle down. The wifey going to be like, wait, maybe. We have to be the light because a lot of the stuff that we're putting out there is seen as out there. So
oh yeah,
it's already hard to digest, but because we believe in it so much, because they see the results in our lifestyle, in us, people are like, maybe there's something onto it. So there's no time to fear, no time. We're on a mission, you know?
Yeah.
I'm already seeing the results, just with people around me changing their lives as well. And, you know, that's beautiful. I think that's what it's all about.
That's a beautiful thing, man. When you extract the light from source, when you learn that this is what you've been missing. You had etheric patches of stagnant energy and you were depleted in nerve energy. You were depleted in prana energy. When you learn to take it in abundance, and at any time, it's like you just could sit, you know, and you don't got to go do nothing. It just loves you. You're just unconditional.
You just got to receive and let go, which is something I had to work on.
You see why the church says, let go and let God.
God, yep.
Okay. So people that are against religion, you shouldn't really be against religion because religion is still teaching you the truth. They just kind of misconstrued it and made you like decoded it wrong.
Right. They turned the philosophy into a theology.
Right. And then fear God. So they bring the fear thing once again, you know. So that's all it is, you know. So they always take truths and invert it, you know, because there's no such thing as a lie without a truth. Because a lie without some truths in it is a lame lie and it won't work. You see? And again, You look at all of the ancient cultures, all of Stonehenge, the pyramids, all of the symbols that our ancestors left. These were codes, DNA codes. And what every culture talked about, whether it was Sumeria, Atlantis, it don't matter. It's not from different beings. It's just from one source. And they're talking about a genetically higher human. That's what all of them are talking about in the ancient scrolls, cultivating a genetically higher human. You see, they bring up the breathing exercises, they bring up the inner alchemy, all of that stuff. And it's all free, you see. So the less you know, the more you have to work. The less energy you keep, the more you have to go and actually believe I have to go and do all this extra stuff for, you know. So again, family, the whole gist of this webinar, you see, is so you can remember to receive the light directly from source. Stop trying to extract it from everywhere else. You see, go into yourself, okay? That's all I'm saying. That, especially at this time right now. Right now, it's important. We gave an array of solutions here. And now, understand, always, don't just look, and that's why you would see a lot of these conspiracy theorists, they need to bring the counter force to counter what they're doing. Where even if they
need a villain,
G towers, they
right.
think of the necessary technology to offset it. You don't think it's billions of human beings as brilliant as we are? You don't think someone out there figured this out? Yeah, you know.
You gotta jump in.
Definitely. So we have Anthony that wants to hop in. Like I said, that's a brother that is really advanced. And I am going to let you come in, bro. You could show your video. I'm gonna unmute. I'm gonna unmute you. Please show your video so that the good people can see you. I asked to start video. Okay.
Hey, what's goody?
Up, bro?
Yo, what's up, bro?
Peace and love, brother. Yeah, man. I'm driving, but I love what you're saying. And Mark knows me. We went to the same event with Dr. Phil Valentine. That's actually where we met.
Yeah,
so,
Atlanta. We met in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we were hearing about the adrenochrome from that event. So everything he's saying is true. Like, that was 2018, October. So
2017, eh?
Right? Somewhere. Yeah, 2017, right?
Yeah.
So, basically what I do is I do a lot of the breath work. I learned it more from a Swami in India. But that's where you really cultivate the energy. And what I'm practicing now is more about like kind of like Buddhism. Like Buddha left a meditation here for us. It's called Vipassana. And you have free retreats all around the world where you do 10 days. 10 days of meditation and 10 days of silence.
Wow.
10 days of noble silence where you don't speak, both 10 days. You just meditate. Obviously, you start with 30 minutes, an hour, and then maybe an hour and a half sitting, you know, and then take breaks, meditation, walks, lunch, this and that, da. But the key is that you have to continue to focus. The first 3 days is all about focusing your energy. And this is what Mark is saying is true, is the cultivation of energy. When you're able to sit still, like not even moving, I mean like pure stillness. Like the only movement your spine should be making is upward. When you're able to get into that state, it's like all the energy, you could start to feel energy at its essence.
Yeah.
And with the first 3 days is focusing on the nose, just feeling the nasal passage, feeling the air coming in and out, because that's where the energy enters the body. So once you put your focus there, then you have more sensitivity to the energy coming in. Now you have, when this thought comes up, look how my breath fastens up.
Right.
But when I calm down, when I'm not thinking, look how slow my breath is. Then you start to notice what emotions, what thoughts are affecting you. Then you can start to do a lot more work. And then with the pranayama, prana meaning energy, yama meaning control. all the breathing exercises is to learn how to hold the breath. Again, all the breathing exercises. Because here's the thing, a lot of people want to do the fast breathing, and they're like, yeah, breath work, but nobody knows how to be still for an hour. Yeah, you could breathe fast for 20, 30 minutes. Can you slow down to your breath where you're breathing one breath per minute for 20 minutes? Try that. You know what I mean? So the breath work is to learn so you can start to hold the breath. Because that's the part kind of almost past meditation. Because when you're in true meditation, your breath starts to naturally stop by itself. It's called Kavali Samadhi.
Breathing without breathing.
The true Samadhi is when it just naturally happens. What was that?
Yeah, like they say, breathing without breathing.
And
they, when I would do, for example, I say like the breath of fire, and then I would be so hyperventilated to be able to exhale and hold on the exhale. You see? And you're right, because you're so still right now where you're not even doing anything that's even remotely like physical, you know? That's deep.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the key, is that you start to notice the muscles and the motion of the breath. So when you do start to stop the breath, it's exactly how you said, you're breathing without breathing. You're still moving the same muscles, and the energy is flowing as if you were breathing, but you're not breathing. And that's the key, to keep the energy flowing without breathing. And then, so pranayama, you have the breath. Breath of fire is actually Bhastrika. It's the fastest form of Bhastrika. Bhastrika is forceful inhale and exhale. Now, the first stage is breathing in and out fully, meaning 100% in, making your lungs fill up all the way out and breathing out as fast as you can, kind of like Wim Hof, but all through the nose. Then the second stage would be like 50% breathing in and out at 50% speed. And then breath of fire is 10% in, 10% out, basically. It's just,
yeah,
as opposed to, now both of them are going to have cleansing effects. The deep breathing is going to start to stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, your blood circulation. They even proved that it starts to create like wave-like function throughout the blood, the circulatory system, throughout the arteries, and therefore it clears up a lot of blockages just in the blood, never mind the energetic system.
Right.
And then you have breath of fire, and again, all of the breathing exercises is to learn how to hold the breath. So you can either hold the breath in or you can hold the breath out. And both of those transition. So when you hold the breath in, that's the transition point of the exhale. So when you hold the breath in, the advanced stage is to use the muscles of exhalation while holding the breath in. So now you're pumping it, almost like you're about to go Super Saiyan. You know when they flex everything?
Yeah.
Do that while you hold the breath in. That's exactly what you're doing. And you're doing that while holding the breath for, let's say, 10, 20 seconds. You know, the more you start to breathe and the less carbon dioxide. So here's another thing, is that a person can die from hyperventilation, like when they're running too fast, What happens is not because they're taking in too much oxygen, but because they've blown out too much carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is not a waste gas. You need it in the body for the oxygen to be transferred to the cells. This is called the Bohr effect. Scientists discovered it. And basically, when you start to breathe like fast, like you lose a lot of carbon dioxide, and that is why you can hold the breath for long. But the key is to allow the oxygen to go to the cells from there. Then we can start to train holding the breath out. Now, when you hold the breath out, you use the muscles of inhalation. That's when you start to pull all the energy upwards at the holding out part. When you hold the breath out, that's when you start to pull from the root up. You know, the squeezing of the root up? That's exactly what happens. You squeeze, you bring the abdominal muscles in, like when we used to do it as kids, when we raised to suck our whole belly in.
Right.
And then bringing the chin down. Boom. and then all the energy is able to rise. And the chin is just supposed to come down so that the energy doesn't just rush to the brain. You want it to go through the middle passage, not the Ida, not the Pingala, not the left and right nod. You want it to go into the middle, the Sushumna. And that's just the first one. Then you have Kapalabhati, which is forceful exhale, but you let the inhale happen naturally. Then you have Ujjayi breathing. Like there's soft Ujjayi, if you've ever heard it, where you can start to breathe one breath per minute. And then there's the fast one where it sounds like this. Ready? And you exhale through the left nostril. Because that's your cooling sign. But that one's going to strengthen your powers of inhalation, allowing you to breathe better, allowing to, you know. Then you have alternate nostril breathing. By alternating the nostrils that you are breathing through, you balance the entire nervous system. You have the parasympathetic, which they call a nickname rest and digest, because that's the part where you begin to relax, you begin to digest your food. And then you have the sympathetic, which they call fight or flight, when you get that energy, the adrenaline. But you balance. The right side is the yang, right? And the left is yin. And so when you inhale through the left nostril, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right nostril, exhale through the left. And after you start doing it,
you said that it helps with the flight or fight, balancing the brains. Because I was telling Mark, I always had this anxiety, and that's how I started to counter it, was through all these different breath techniques. And the alternating the nostril breathing was something that was really working to like calm me down.
Awesome. Yeah. So yo, Anthony. So yeah, you want to link this Anthony in Florida with me, bro? You right in Florida, so.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you got like where I could learn these.
Yeah, you should add him as a friend, and you know I'll direct you to Anthony, bro, and me, and yo, let's link this week or whenever you can, bro, and then let's do another one. Let's try to do another one, you know, with Anthony. So yo, thanks for that input, man. That was, like I say, very detailed. Very
yeah, for sure.
I really respect that, bro. You know, he really added in like a real good, you know,
really did the work that we talked about.
Yeah, man. I forget. I need to put you in our Telegram group, man, the Immortality Cultivation School. So anyway, family, Elvin, we're gonna have to do a part 2. Okay. I know that, you know, we could go on and on.
Yeah. I forget.
What I usually do is though, I'm going to go back over it, and you could do it too. And I just recorded with my phone a clip, 3 to 4 minutes of some potent shit. And then that usually will get people to think, wow, it's interesting. And it'll get them to come. It's really the small clips that get people to come and watch it. Because if they just 3 hours, they can think, I ain't got no time for that shit.
Right.
So anyway, for y'all that was able to stay the whole time, you know, definitely glad to have you all here.
Shout out Human.
I'm gonna Human here.
Yeah.
Stayed the whole time, my fucking boy. Thanks for coming through. And we got Roderick in here. What's up, Roddy? Roddy. All right, so hey, y'all have a good day. We can do a part 2. I probably can create a PowerPoint just on some things or whatever. So I just stopped the recording.